PGBiz podcast. We have Harriet Hughes, CMO of Playstack, and we're going to be talking about something you wouldn't really expect here, which is not about how to publish your game, how to win your users, your players, how to keep them coming back. This is about relationships because it all starts there. Now, you work with app publishers, games publishers. Tell me, first of all, a little bit about Playstack, how I would work with you, what you offer.
Sure. So we're a games publisher. We're coming into our 7th year now. So we've published over 30 titles on mobile, on PC, on console. And just to your point, we really think that it really begins with a really solid, good relationship between the developers. That could be just a sole developer or two developers or a whole studio of developers. Between the developer and the publisher, we think that if you are going to use a publisher, you really do have to spend some time trying to find the right publisher for you and the right publisher for your game. You have to think about what you're looking for in a publisher and what you want that publisher to bring to the developer-publisher relationship. And once you know exactly what you're looking for, then you have to find the right publisher for you, the one that really fits your game and your business and indeed your personality.
So it's clear that you have to do your homework and you need to know what that fit will be. You need to come into it with an idea. But let's talk about that publisher Playstack relationship, because everything is shifting, everything's changed. What can I expect from you? I don't come to you as a games company and say, game studio, oh, I just want the cash. What kind of support can I expect? What do you offer if I'm in the market for it?
Sure. So I think what we bring is we bring a really dedicated team of experts to your game. And what we look to do is we look to fill in the gaps in your studio, some of the different disciplines and different functions that you don't have within your existing team. We don't want to come in and take over. We don't want to come in and tell you how to make your game, or we don't want to come in and take the vision for your game and change it. We want to come in and help you to get to the largest audience possible for your game. And what we believe at Playstack is that it's very difficult to be the game creator, the game visionary, be able to steer and do everything that is required on the tech side, and also then be a marketing expert, be a PR expert, be somebody that can acquire users or find players for your game and nurture that community and make that community as hyped and as excited as possible for your game release. It's virtually impossible for one person or one studio to manage all of those different functions. And we believe that there comes a point within the game development cycle where you really have to hand that over to some experts who know what they're doing. Our role is to find the audience, scale the audience, and really nurture that audience to make sure that they are as excited for your game release as you are.
How are you delivering the right audience for the right game?
Sure. So we focus on Discord predominantly, and we make sure that we have dedicated community support on Discord. And we are looking to really try and bring in as many different people to that Discord community as possible prior to release. And what we're looking to do is keep them excited, keep them coming back. So, for example, Mortal Shell, which we brought out in 2020, we grew that audience to around 80,000 prior to release. Now, that was done because of the excitement around the genre predominantly, because obviously there was a lot of stuff that we couldn't disclose about the game prior to release. We got them to a point where we had people in that Discord community that had full arm tattoos of some of the characters in the game, and the game hadn't even come out yet. But that sort of demonstrates just how you can get excitement. People like to feel a part of something. They want to feel that they're belonging to something. And as long as you are doing that really detailed, good community management where you're allowing people to share their experiences, share their own fan art, for example, share videos of them playing the game once they are able to get their hands on it, do speed runs, whatever it may be. It's just about making people feel like they have found a common interest with others, right?
I've got a term for you. Like I'm thinking here, I'm thinking, Harriet, you know what you do? You do community-driven marketing for games publishers.
Yes, and also we do obviously all the other bits of marketing. We do fantastic, really innovative trailers that really spark interest. That again we can use across these community channels. But really, the message that we want to say is, we have complete and utter respect and admiration for games developers for being able to come up with these concepts and make these fantastic games. And then what we want to bring to the party, so to speak, is just all the fun and the funfair that exists around that, so that the community are just really hyped and excited for when it comes out.
So what's been going on recently? What's been a standout success or even a surprise for yourself?
We had a couple of games that came out in October of last year that we're particularly proud of. One of them is called The Case of the Golden Idol, which is a murder mystery detective game. And the other one is called The Entropy Center. And we're really proud of both of those. And in particular, I think one of the standouts of that process has been that The Case of the Golden Idol was just made by two brothers, so just two guys. They didn't have any help. One of them had not even worked in the games industry before. And the Entropy Center, which has been received with huge critical acclaim as well, that was just one developer, sole developer. He did every single aspect of the game. He did all of the design, he did all the art, he did all the programming. And I just think that demonstrates just how incredibly creative and dedicated and determined people in the games industry can be, that those two games which have done so fantastically well for us and for the developers, there's only in one case two people, in the other case one person behind the game.
Give me an idea of how that progresses over time. I get a great game with you, I've got a hit, but I love my craft, right? I want to make another game, I want to make a sequel, I want to keep players coming back. How do you help me keep that momentum?
Yes, so we're obviously talking to both of those studios, albeit that they're just one-man studio in one case, but we're already talking about, what they want to do next. We don't want to, as I said, we don't want to direct that or take over too much, because ultimately they are the creative one. It's existing in their head, right? They're the visionary. They're the one that came to us with this fantastic runaway title. So we want to just empower them and give them whatever they need in order to be able to repeat that success and do it again. I think too often we are a little bit too led by the data and by all of the metrics and what everything is telling us, that we perhaps lose sight of the fact that at the end of the day, this is a creative genius and they kind of need to be left to their own devices. We can't necessarily forecast what is going to be popular in a year's time or a year and a half's time. Sometimes that just comes from a very creative mind and they just manage to nail it.
Speaking of nailing it, Harriet, what I find interesting is you're also like a trend watcher. You're watching the market very closely. What can you tell us about what's going to be hot and not in 2023? Give me some idea. Maybe inspire some of our closet garage creative people out here, because they want help to nail it.
I do think there's something interesting coming out of some of the big platforms like Netflix and so on, and moving into subscriptions. So I think that potentially we'll see a move away, I would maybe predict a move away from sort of hyper casual gaming and a move more into subscription based services that allow people to engage with an IP or a product or a brand, for example, that they are already enjoying, and to have that in an environment which is potentially ad free and IAP free, because they're subscribing to whether it's Netflix games or whatever it may be.
I agree on that one. I called subscription apps. I said, this is the year for it. Subscription gaming has arrived. Harriet, great to speak with you. Thank you for sharing. And above all, it's really amazing to hear about how that relationship is created and cultivated. You're the one to do it. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.